guys, I am on the spot, ready to deliver this big bad content. Guys, I hope you had a great sleep. Happy Wednesday. Yay, we made it for Wednesday, guys. Almost the end of the week again. My God. So when God is in the midst, what can we not achieve? Guys, I want to say glory to God this morning. Without Almighty God, we wouldn't be here right now to discuss this content. Okay. Also, we want to give God thanks for health and strength. Because without health and strength, we wouldn't have been up this morning about to unpack this content. And not only that, for the audience, for whoever is coming on this content, for whoever is watching this content, without you guys, the content wouldn't be what it is. Because without anyone watching, then it doesn't give you the motivation to come every morning to deliver the big bad content. So I want to thank you all for come on in. Bring your mom, your dad, your friends, share, subscribe, like, and comment. Make sure you come on in, right in, okay? Walk in, jump in, skip in, however you have to get here. Come on in. Lots of parking over here. Lots of seat in the audience, guys. Come on, come on, come on. You can bring your coffee. You can bring your tea. You can bring all your snacks, right? You can bring your banana chips, your Dorito chips, your cheesies, your potato chips, your Cheetos, your Fritos, everything that you could think of. Come on in the live. Come on in the live, people. Bring any food you want. Jerk chicken, rice and peas, oxtail, stewed peas, chili, pizza, burgers, anything you want. Come on in. This live, this content make you comfortable, as the word comfortable with an uppercase C. So come on in, guys, and let's start the content. Okay, guys? So good morning. Bonjour. Okay? Hope your morning is great so far. Hope you're on your way through a productive day and a great day. So we want to shout happy Wednesday, guys. Okay, so let's get on. We have a lot of things to speak about. I know I'm a little bit late. Usually I start a little bit earlier, but I've been up and I've been doing a few things, and I said, yeah, I am gonna come talk to the masses. I said, how are you guys doing? You guys ready for a new content? Do you guys miss me? I miss you all. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Okay, so we're at Wednesday. Oh, right? Yeah, Wednesday. June 4th. Time waits for no one, guys. So anyways, let's unpack. I'm going to read from the best of my ability, okay? Trial of man accused of suitcase murders collapses, all right? So we're all the way in Bristol, all right, guys? So let's unpack. I'm going to be reading from the best of my ability, okay? The jury in the trial of a man accused of murdering two men in London before dumping some of their remains in suitcase in Bristol has been discharged. So this was a big case happening, people, and I was waiting for the verdict or waiting for anything that's going on, and I'm like, oh. But let's jump in it. Let's unpack. Justin Moscura, 35, denies murdering Albert Alfonso, 62, and Paul Longworth, 71, on or before 11th July 2024, and was on trial at London's Old Bailey. Parts of their bodies were found in Shepherd Bush, while some were discovered in a suitcase left near Clifton Suspension Bridge. The prosecution opened its case on 30th of April, but trial judge Mr. Justice Benathan discharged the jury earlier. Justice Benathan said there had been problems identifying the accurate times of the searches made by Mr. Moscura on his laptop, which had been used as evidence. Oh my, yikes, yikes, yikes. He told jurors the trial simple cannot continue. We simple have to resolve this before we have a fair trial, he added. The judge thanked jurors for their service and said he was sorry for where the trial had end up at. Oh my. Mr. Mascura has admitted the manslaughter of Mr. Alfonso by way of loss of self-control, but denies both charges of murder. There is due to be pre-trial review hearing to Mr. Procura at the Old Bailey on the 13th June. Retrial date has been set for the 30th of June in the Woolwich Crown Court. So did you guys hear about the Bristol trial? Did you guys hear about the Bristol suitcase trial, guys? Did you guys hear about the Bristol suitcase murders? So that was the content, basically, guys. All right. Not only that, guys, there was also, they saw him in video footage, basically, you know, disposing the bodies and stuff. Okay, so CCTV footage showing in alleged double killer dragging a suitcase towards Bristol Clifton Suspension Bridge before human remains were discovered has been shown to jurors in a murder trial. Justin Andres Poscura is accused of murdering civil partners Albert Alfonso and Paul Longworth and their flat in London last July. This week, the court heard how Moscura dismembered the couple's bodies and brought remains in suitcase to Bristol with the intention of throwing them off the bridge. The defendant has admitted to manslaughter, but Mr. Anfalso, oh no, by way of loss of self-control, but denies and being tried on both charges of murder. And the reason why I said fried, because the murder case has collapsed. I said that in the first, so I'm just getting into the detail, okay? The prosecution has said that on 8th of July, Moscura allegedly killed Mr. Longworth and later Mr. Alfonso in their flat and then set about trying to steal from them. Okay? 2 days after Mr. Alfonso killing, CCTV shows Poscura walking backwards and he drags a heavy red suitcase along Clifton Suspension Bridge in Bristol at about 11:23 p.m. He approached by two members of staff who manage the bridge who are called away to an appointment and also seen by a cyclist. It sounded like someone was dragging a heavy object. Neighbor gives evidence in court. The two men were described in court by a neighbor on 2 May 2nd as a loving and a humorous couple. Okay, the woman gave evidence from behind a screen shielding her from the dock and the public gallery. Judge Mr. Justice Benethan told the jury it's not because of anything Mr. Moscura had done, and it's intended to make nervous witnesses more relaxed when they are giving evidence. Okay, the court heard how the neighbor moved into the same building as Albert Alfonso and Paul Longworth in 2010. She told jurors she knew the pair better than most of my neighbors, but not as close friends, and that Mr. Alfonso had engaged, okay, and had agreed to be her emergency contact when she underwent a hospital procedure. She described him as having a strong personality and said he was loyal to Mr. Longworth. He was forthright and straight talking, she said. He was very good neighbor, she added. Okay? When asked by the prosecutor, Dina Her Casey, to give an example, she said Mr. Alfonso stuck up for her over a disagreement about the use of her communal garden. One of the neighbors was bullying me not to use the garden in the sun in the lockdown, and Albert stuck up for me. She described Mr. Longworth as quieter and more gentle and a good neighbor. When asked about that peer's relationship, she said her impression was that it was loving, supportive, really quiet, touching, actually. So basically, the three of them seems like they're three lovers, three males. Okay? The neighbor explained to the court how, having been inside the flat on two occasions, she saw that they lived in separate bedrooms. All right? She told the court she had never heard any commotions or raised voices. On cross examination, she confirmed her flat and that of the victim doesn't share a common wall. When asked whether she remembers hearing anything notable around the time of Mr. Alfonso and Mr. Longworth's death, she told the jury that a few days beforehand she heard raised voices. Raised voices, right? In Paul and Albert flat for the first time. The prosecution asked, did you know whose they were? So when the prosecutor asked her, do you know who voice it was? She said, maybe she's like, okay. Because remember, her flat don't have the same wall, but she could hear, right? The prosecution asked, did you know whose they were? There were two voices. One was definitely not Paul. Paul has a very distinct voice, she replied. When later cross-examined, the defense counsel, Tom Little Casey, asked the neighbor to confirm whether she would describe Albert as more fiery than Paul. Yes, she replied. Fiery should be in no way as aggressive as he wasn't in my experience. The neighbor also told the court about events on the 10th of July, 2 days after Moscura is alleged to have murdered Mr. Alfonso and Mr. Longworth. She told the court that she heard a very loud noise, banging and scraping in the building stairwell. She said it sounded like someone was dragging a heavy object step by step. She described seeing a man with a very dark skin standing over a large case with a silver-colored edges, looking startled and like he's been caught. That's what sticks with me the most. The look on his face, his forehead was furrowed and aligned with concern, she said. Moscura denies murder. The trial continues. Okay, guys? So this is the Bristol murder trial of this guy murdering two men, basically. Okay, guys? All right? So we want to get to this part, all right? So you guys could understand what's going on here. Okay? So this murder trial has been going on for a while. When the perpetrator was searching his computer, it seems like the police them cannot get the timing and the time slot right, which you have to if you're gonna say it's evidence, especially a murder trial. So basically, this murder case has collapsed. This murder case has collapsed, so there is a retrial, you all. So have you guys heard about the Bristol murders? 3 male caught up in this kind of situations, guys. So let's get to the situation, or let's get to this case that I want you guys to know about. Okay? All right?
Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie.
Okay. I don't want the commercial, guys, so that's why I'm kind of forwarding out the commercial, because we don't want a copyright strike, right? So I want to hurry and get to the Come on, it's like two-part commercial, but I turn it down. Give me a second, guys. Oh my God. I'm trying to forward it out and it's like nothing. Okay. All right. Come on, commercial. I'm tired of you now.
The Metro.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Commercial. Da da dee, da da dum, dum da dum, dum da dum. Too much commercial. No, man. It's too much. Guys, I just don't want the copyright strike, so I have to make sure the commercial is out of it. And it's just one news situation, and it can't even just give me one story without any commercial. I know maybe this is the ads and the commercial. This is how a lot of people get paid. Sometimes I don't like I don't have the patience to watch a commercial, which I should, because if you're going to support someone's channel, you should basically watch the commercial. But at times I don't got the patience for it, right? To be honest. So give me a second. Finally,
The
sorry
Metropolitan
guys.
Police is now leading the search for a man who left suitcases containing the remains of two other men on Clifton Suspension Bridge in Bristol. They're searching the area around a high-rise block in West London. The Sky's Matthew Thompson is at the scene. Matthew, what updates do you have tonight?
Well, within the last couple of hours, really, the Metropolitan Police say that they have arrested a 36-year-old man in another part of London, in Greenwich, and he remains in custody. But they're very keen to stress that it is not the suspect that they have been looking for up till this point. Now, we're here in West London, in Shepherd's Bush, where through the day forensics officers have been searching a property behind me. Quite what the connection is to the suitcases found in Bristol containing human remains, or indeed to the chief suspect, we aren't clear. A private ambulance did arrive here at the scene earlier this afternoon and left again after a couple of hours. As you can see behind me, a significant security cordon remains in place. What we do know is that police say that they have evidence that the suspect travelled from London to Bristol on Wednesday, so just a few hours before the suitcases were found in Bristol, containing what we now know to be the remains of two adult males who've yet to be formally identified. Now, I've spent the day here at the scene. I've spoken to a number of local residents, none of whom wanted to give their names or appear on camera, but they all described being woken in the early hours of the morning. One woman said by barking dogs as police officers entered the property just behind me. And one woman said that she hadn't made the connection to the suitcases in Bristol until she saw it on Sky News, at which point she said she burst into tears. So clearly here there is a degree of fear, a degree of disbelief that something connected in whatever way to such horror could be happening quite so close to home.
Matthew, thank you.
Okay, guys. All right. So basically, like I'm saying to you guys, this case has collapsed, like I told you guys. The police, the timing of when the perpetrator was searching his computer basically kind of collapsed, guys. And at the end of the day, when you really think about it, it's kind of sad, because then what's going to happen? What's going to happen when you think about that? Like, what's going to happen in the retrial? Like, is the retrial going to be, any better or any of that sort? Like, we're not sure. Okay, we're not sure if the retrial, the police them get everything right, although he was caught on the bridge and everything of that sort.
Hey, it's
Okay,
me,
so let's get in
Vicky
it.
Marie. I just wanted to let you know what's happening in this suitcase murder trial. That I was reporting on this trial, and you may have wondered why I haven't reported on it for a little while. And the reason is this trial has collapsed.
I told you.
So remember, this was the trial of these two gentlemen's remains that were found on the Bristol Suspension Bridge, allegedly put there by this man.
Okay.
Justin Mosquera. It's a horrible case.
Okay.
It's got everything in it that I don't really like to talk about,
All
like
right.
dismemberment, and there's homophobia in here, I think. It's a very sensitive case.
Okay,
it's
guys.
a horrible, horrible case. But what has happened is that the trial has collapsed. And the reason that the trial has collapsed and the jury have been dismissed is that Yosti Mosquera, who's 35, he denies murdering Albert Alfonso, 62, and Paul Longworth, 71, who were a long-term couple. Anyway, I won't go into all the details of it because it'll be being tried again and we'll look at it when it comes up again. But this was a case where parts of their bodies were found in Shepherd's Bush where they lived, and some were discovered in a suitcase left near Clifton Suspension Bridge. And the prosecution opened its case on the 30th of April.
Recent,
but trial
guys.
Judge Mr. Justice Benathan discharged the jury earlier, and he said there's problems identifying the.
Okay. So, like I said, guys, all right? So the trial has collapsed, all right? I've been watching this trial for a while, and I'm like, oh my, what's going to happen to this trial? What's going to happen to this trial so far? What's going to happen to the trial? Now you guys know, there's a Bristol murder case happening with the suitcase. The guy admit basically to manslaughter, but plead not guilty to murder. And I'm like, okay then. So if that's the case, then I'm not sure. But then the judge basically dismiss actually the jurors because the police don't have the right timing of when he searched the computer. Guys. All right. So right now, the trial has been dismissed, and it's kind of strange and weird because now there has to be a retrial, and then you have to go find new jurors and everything. Remember, everybody's always talking about your rights, right? You have to always make sure, right, that people's rights are protected, victims, even the perpetrator. And if you're going to have a fair trial, especially in Bristol, especially those Bristol and in the UK and in London, most of the time, many other third world countries have to go there as a high court and many things. So they also want to set example when it comes to human rights of all of that sort. But yet still people are still whispering like, okay, what about the human rights of Windrush? What about the human rights of the racism? What about the human rights of all the goals and the artifacts and all of that they stole elsewhere, allegedly? I'm just whispering. Okay, guys? And I'm just being sarcastic at this point in time. So that's the main reason why the judge is like, okay, fair is fair. People have rights out here. So if the police don't have the time, because remember, if a police is bringing a charge and the prosecutor is bringing a charge and say, okay, yeah, you murdered two persons, you dismembered their body, video camera and all, dragging suitcase and all. But yet still the timing that he searched that computer of maybe how to get rid of bodies. I'm not sure what was really searched on the computer, but the timing of the police is not right of the timing he searched that computer. So there's a problem, especially if you're going to have that as part of the evidence in the trial. So the judge is like, nope, sorry, mistrial, nope, sorry. Trial collapse, bye, new trial. So that's what's happening right now, guys, in that trial. And I just had to come and get a short content, right to the point, right to everything, because I have so much to tell you guys in this content. So that's why that content was short, more than for me to give you guys a long content. When I don't have too much to pack or insert in this content, then I'll give you a long content that I have to read and take breath. But when I'm gonna pack and unpack so much topics in one content, then the content or the full margin of the content itself, the highlight of the story will be short. Okay, guys? So if you wonder, how come it's so short? Well, it's 24 minutes talking about this content, so it couldn't be short. Let's run on quick and fast, guys. Okay, guys, we also want to get to a few other things, all right? We want to talk about something else, but few other things, all right? And then we will run on with this content, okay? So right now, like I said, the trial have collapsed in the Bristol suitcase murder trial, and there's gonna be a retrial. So sooner or later, something come up with that. We're gonna unpack all of that. All right, guys. I want to get to news. Okay, let's get to news. One second. On 8. One second. One second, guys. I have to take off the screen. Something I will take off the screen. Some things I won't because I don't want to get a copyright strike. Okay, but this one is fine. So give me a second. Soon getting it, guys.
A quiet Tuesday evening in Toronto's Lawrence Heights neighborhood turned into chaos as gunfire erupted, leaving one man dead and 5 others wounded in a mass shooting that has rattled the city. The shooting occurred around 8:30 p.m. local time near Flemington and Zachary Roads, close to Rani Avenue and Allen Road, just steps away from the Yorkdale Shopping Centre in North York. According to Toronto police, 5 people were taken to the hospital with gunshot wounds that are considered non-life-threatening. Authorities confirmed that all injured individuals are expected to survive. Emergency crews, including police and paramedics, responded swiftly to reports of gunfire in the residential area. Eyewitnesses described the terrifying moments following the attack. One local resident who declined to be filmed told CTV News he heard approximately 20 shots, mistaking the noise for fireworks at first. Adding that the area had not experienced a shooting in years, he recalled it was in pretty quick succession. Disturbing video shared on social media shows victims lying on the ground as bystanders and first responders rush to their aid. Toronto police have yet to release any details about potential suspects or arrests. A command post has been established at the scene to aid the ongoing investigation. Mayor Olivia Chow expressed deep concern, saying she was disturbed by the incident. Posting on social media platform X, she stated, "My office is in contact with Toronto police who are on the scene now and investigating." She also thanked first responders for their work at what she described as a very busy and challenging scene. Local councillor and deputy mayor Mike Cole, who represents the area, spoke emotionally at the site of the shooting. He told CP24, "It's really a wild, wild west scene up here tonight.
It's really a wild, wild west. I am not sure why these young people continue to pick up these guns. I'm not sure why these young people cannot do something more constructive. Not only that, it was to the point, it always breaks down to the point that some of these guns always end up in the black community, and I'm not even sure why. What are we fighting over? What are we shooting each other for? I am not sure. At this point in time, like, young men, wise up. There's many more things for you to do other than to go sit behind bars for murder. That's not cool. What is cool about that than losing your freedom? I am not sure. Let's run on, guys. Quick and fast, okay? Because I want to unpack this content real fast, but slowly, so you guys could understand full-pledged the content of this, quality of it all. Okay, guys? All right, from there, guys, we're going to also talk about some other things. Now, we're going to also talk about a new bill when it comes to security at the borders and many borders around here and stuff like that. So let's get to security and the border measure that the new bill has passed.
I introduced Bill C-2, the Strong Borders Act. With this new legislation, we'll ensure Canada has the right tools to keep our borders secure, combat transnational organized crime and fentanyl, and disrupt illicit financing. The bill updates existing laws to bolster our response to national and economic security threats while enhancing the integrity and fairness of our immigration system. Among some of the key changes are new powers for border officers to examine goods destined for export to prevent the transport of illegal goods such as stolen vehicles. Law enforcement and intelligence agencies will also have some new tools to stop the flow of fentanyl and its precursors. By investing in advanced technology, by supporting our border personnel and law enforcement, we'll be able to better prevent illegal cross-border activity. We will do so while protecting charter rights of Canadians, safeguarding their privacy, and ensuring due process. In addition to these measures, Canada will continue to work with our U.S. partners to ensure that our border remains secure, while we continue to manage the legitimate and efficient movement of people and goods between our countries. The additional measures we're taking today to further secure Canada's border will help sustain the security and economic partnership for many years to come.
Okay, guys? So there you have it. Okay, guys, so we had to get to news. We got to get to important factors because over here we unpack a lot of things, okay? Sometimes you come here, you get a different thing. Some days you get many things, but some days we're down to business and we unpack. Remember, most of the times they say blogging, most of the time vlogging, wherever you guys call yourself, whatever, content creator. I'm not sure if it's content creator right now, but when you wanted to talk about things, remember, nowadays days, most of these blogging is like news station now, so you have to unpack real good and real great. You understand? So when you say I insert and introduce certain things in the content, them don't watch no face. When you rewatch the content after I drop it, it comes right together. When you're on the live, it's great. Yeah, I'm on the live. But you see, when you rewatch the content and you see all of the things, and when you're just rewatching it, content bad, content up. Right through. Okay, let's move on quick and fast. All right, guys, so we're moving from there. Important factors. Let's unpack some things. Yes, okay, then now, so from there, guys, like I said, recap, we were talking about the man who was arrested in the London murders in Bristol. The case has collapsed. Retrial, so we're moving forward. Okay, guys, there's many other things that we want to talk about. Okay, so let's unpack some other things. All right, there's also a protest happening because of transgender, and a lot of people be like, well, there's a lot of things happening, and they're all over. And I remember when RuPaul and everybody else came out, we wasn't sure and knew that there was going to be a bigger agenda. Back then they were called drag. Didn't know that these are almost the same thing, like men wants to be a woman change over into a woman and vice versa. No discrimination, but I know that right now there's a protest happening right now, and doctors are coming out right now to say, hey, wait a minute, something is happening here and we need to protest because of that. So we need to unpack this as well, because this is forefront out here in news, and if you're going to unpack content, you have to unpack everything without no discrimination. All right,
when Zoe Swafield came out as transgender at 16, her mother says access to supportive medical care likely saved her life.
Once we were able to access gender-affirming care and they were able to get the support they needed, their mental health took a drastic turn for the better, and their life has been incredible since then.
Swafield says her now 22-year-old daughter is thriving, but she worries about other Alberta families who may soon lose access to similar gender-affirming care.
You're there.
I have families, again, who are trying to decide whether or not to move out of province before their child enters puberty. I have people who have expressed increased depression, anxiety, suicidality directly as a result of this legislation.
It's why this Calgary family doctor is joining two other physicians and the Canadian Medical Association in a legal challenge against an Alberta law. Bill 26, passed last December, prevents doctors from prescribing gender-affirming therapies for those under 16. It also bans doctors from performing gender reassignment surgeries on minors. Though for patients under 18, those procedures are already very rarely done.
For the CMA, this issue is more about physician autonomy in general. We want to put it out to make sure that this doesn't set a precedent where other types of medical decisions, like who can get contraception, or even would we offer knee replacements to people over 70? These are the types of things we don't want government officials to be deciding.
Another legal challenge submitted on behalf of families with transgender children is also before the courts. As a judge considers an injunction application in that case, medical care for transgender youth remains available for now. The Alberta government says the bill is intended to protect youth from potentially irreversible decisions, adding it will vigorously defend its position in court. Heather Yurex West, Global News, Calgary.
Oh no, hobo, bo bo bo, ba da dee, ba 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 bee, ba 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 ba. What says you? Do you believe in all of these things? Do you have a child that is transgender? What says you? Do you think they have a right to get all of these things? Do you think that is too much? Do you think that everybody else have rights other than everybody else? And do you think that some of these rights came out before some other rights, like Black people rights and other rights that we're all here singing about, crying about 400 years and still can't come to pass? I am not sure, people. Okay, so that's what's going on. That's what's happening. Let's move on with the big bad content, and let's get into more stuff and unpack this content. Okay, all right, guys. So from there, we want to talk about some other things. All right, so I want to get into, first thing I want to get into, guys, we want to also talk about we want to talk about Puff Diddy, yes, but and we also want to talk about Nygaard, and we want to talk about some other things. Okay, so my hands are really full today with a lot of things that I want to speak about. So let me unpack some things for a second. Okay, so I'm going to go on the phone, and then I am going to play some of the things that I want to discuss with you all. Okay, so give me a second so I could get it up here on the screen. Okay, so we'll bring it here. Ignore everything else in the background. As you guys know, we already talked about this, but I had to put them up here because we're going to be talking about this. So did you guys know that the Punisher, okay, and the hotel security guard came out and basically said that Diddy basically bribed him for that tape? So let's get to the hotel security guard first. Then we're going to get to something else, and we're going to unpack this whole thing, okay? Let's get to the hotel security guard when it comes to the Diddy allegation and the Diddy case situations, all right? Because this one gets bigger and bigger, and every day gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and all of that. And at the end of the day, we're covering everything as well, commercial. So I'm going to mute you guys for a second, all right?
The map now to New York City, where it is the fourth week of the Sean Combs sex trafficking trial. The music mogul has pleaded not guilty to federal charges against him. Prosecutors continue to line up witnesses who say they were the victims of Combs' alleged abuse. In fact, on Monday, jurors heard testimony from someone called Mia, a former employee of Combs, who testified he physically and emotionally abused her and sexually assaulted her. She also faced a tough cross-examination from the defense. CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman has been there for every day and every minute of that trial, just stepped out of the courtroom for our viewers. Somebody said in my ear, Katrina's coming across the street, let's put her on. She's talking about what happened in court today. Another day.
Reed, it started as actually a rather dramatic morning, and this was before we even had a witness on the stand. It came out that one of the streamers here, it appears, revealed the true identity of Mia. That's the alleged victim who was on the stand for a number of days. She's a key witness in this case, a former employee of Combs who says that she's been sexually, physically, and psychologically abused by him, and she didn't want her real identity revealed. That's why she used a pseudonym to protect it. While this was coming out in court, there was then an outburst. A woman who's actually been making a bit of commotion at the court in general something happened. There was an altercation, and she ended up getting dragged out of the courtroom by 3 officers. She dared them to take out their guns, and she also was shouting at Sean Combs, telling him that people are out there talking about him. So a lot of drama in the courtroom today, besides the testimony on the stand. But we then heard from Eddie Garcia. Now, this is someone, Reed, who was a security guard at the Intercontinental Hotel. That is where security footage captured Sean Combs knocking Cassie Ventura, his girlfriend at the time, to the ground, kicking her, dragging her. It's a scene the jury has seen a few times, but the story that we got from Garcia is significant because it is a potential allegation of bribery. And this is an underlying crime for the racketeering conspiracy charge, Reed, that there is a pattern of criminal activity that was being conducted by Combs and his employees, and they also have to prove that there are 2 underlying crimes there that were part of this. Bribery is one of them. What Eddie Garcia said happened is that Combs' assistant at the time, Christina Coram, reached out to him, and she wanted to know what was on this tape. They wanted to get a hold of it. She said that Combs had been intoxicated. He didn't remember what had happened, and she wanted to know what they were dealing with. Garcia said that at the time he told her, off the record, it's bad, but he was 24. He was just a security guard. He said that he didn't have any way to get this footage to secure it for them. But the story we ended up hearing is that he reached out to a supervisor of his who decided to get that footage for Sean Combs. And also during all this, Combs was getting on the phone with Garcia and calling him Eddie, my angel, telling him that he knew that he could help. Ultimately, they did get Combs that footage, handed it over to him. Combs gave them $100,000 for that. And Garcia recounted how he went to Combs' apartment. One of the bodyguards was there, and so was Christina Coram, his assistant, as Combs counted the money, gave Garcia some tea because Garcia said he was so nervous that his voice was cracking, and he told them he wasn't feeling well. So we're also seeing how there were other employees who were part of this attempt to cover up the apparent assault that happened on Cassie Ventura at that hotel room.
Wow. Katrina Kaufman, thank you so much. We know you've got to get back.
It was a lot to unpack. Were you guys ready for all of that? Huh, guys? Were you guys ready for all of that now? Happy Wednesday, guys. Let's run on. Now, after the security guard bombshell of bribery, he should be locked up too because that was your job. You should be fired as well. And if you're still working at that security guard, you should lose your job because if you could take money from him with video, then who else are you taking money from? I'm disturbed and troubled to know says only this man is getting locked up and nobody else. So did all of these people testify? Did they sign an immunity? Not to get because if you're going to say sex trafficking is a crime, and these people know what they're getting themselves into, then you would have to say, okay, they did a crime, you did a crime. Because, for example, if you're in a car and the police pull up and 2 of you guys in the car doing nastiness in a park, both of you guys are going to be locked up, most likely. You guys are doing in the park, doing stuff where you're not supposed to be doing in the park. The last time I checked, right? If you're driving a car and the police pull over the car and they find a gun in the car, if you don't snitch on your friend or your friend don't snitch on you, both of you guys are going down for that gun until something happened in the trial. Or somebody snitch or somebody make a plea deal. So if these people went to go did a tape and give a tape and all of these things and do all of these things, then some of these things supposed to be people supposed to be locked up in this racketeering crime and charges. And not only that, they said that most of them were on drugs. So perfect example, if you're a pot smoker and you smoke pot and you go to your friend's house and you decide to smoke more than one pot or a whole bag of pot, whose business is that? Whose fault is that? I know that if you go to a friend's house or a birthday party and you overdrink and I don't take the keys from you, or your friend don't take the keys from you, end up in an accident, then you could sue civil. I understand all of that ball game, but I'm just saying if you're already a pot smoker, a crackhead, or a crack smoker, or a dope, a pill popper, or all a molly popper and all of those things. Can you blame someone because you smoke a lot that day. I know if somebody overdose, maybe you could charge for a crime until that ash out. But I'm just saying, like, if you already have that problem, can you blame someone for that problem? I'm not sure. So with all of these people that said, oh, I was drugged up, he gave me lots of drugs to take and stuff like that, the question becomes, did he give it to them that day? Was it their first that day that they're taking those substance, or they already had a substance problem and a substance abuse problem already? That's just my question, people. And if that's the case, then some of these people are supposed to be locked up in this crime as well. Although we're not picking up for the man who bring the whole Sodom and Gomorrah foreplay in the black community. Although you guys were doing all of this all along. Now, the next question I want to ask, if he's been bringing the man and the Punisher testified that he saw those couple more than 11 times, therefore there wasn't a bag of man that much. And if that guy came so many times, more than one time, and he said he received about $2,000 every time he came, sometimes 3 to 4 sessions, he will go home, come back, go home, come back, go home, come back, and all of that, then the question becomes again, isn't that what you guys call threesome and introducing in you guys' bedroom? Because you guys claim, say, if you bring in a man or an ex-female, it's called threesome. So how can he be locked up now for something else where everybody now is saying that it's modern time and those things are called threesome, foursome, fivesome, sixsome, and biggest, Sodom and Gomorrah? I am just asking people. These questions are just easily, most likely that people who are watching and looking want to ask, like myself. Moving on with the content. Okay, then from there, guys, we understand that the Punisher. Okay, we get to understand that there was also an escort, but there was we get to understand that the Punisher came and spoke about how when Diddy was in the room, he never knew it was Diddy. That's the next question I want to ask. He said he never knew it was Diddy, okay? So if he never knew it was Diddy, then how after for a long length of time until he look at the screen and basically the television or whatever screen says, welcome Mr. Holmes or Puffy Holmes. That's how he knew it was Diddy, and then Diddy just unveiled himself and said, oh shit, I am busted, why fire him and make him come 10 other times or whatever other times he came. So the question with everybody else except the maid or the helper, the assistants who knows him face to face and deal with him daily, did the rest of them knew who he was? Did he reveal himself to them? Or they saw something and realized it was him and he unveiled himself? Because the last time I checked in this trial, they said that they always had covers on their face. So I am lost somewhere, but I'm going to do my research. If you know the answer, leave it in the comment section, please, and thank you. So the Punisher came out. Not only that, in this whole content, we found out the Punisher has a little bit of impairment, a little bit of disability. He has a hearing problem. So he uttered in this, if we can get to this, that sometime he thought he heard that he said, can you penetrate me? Oh no. And he said he doesn't believe on the Batian and the Batian or the gayism. So he was his erection wasn't regular, couldn't really manage up or stand up like a big boy, because like Puffy was in the room and Puffy was pacing up and down, down, up and down. After laugh, you devils, you devils, I rebuke you guys in the name of the Lord, bro. Seriously, right? And Diddy was pacing back and forth. So the man was uncomfortable because he doesn't believe in the fish, gill, lobster, and all of that you guys will shout in the black community. No discrimination. I'm just putting all of that in the content. Just make the content not to be boring, guys. Like I said, shouting no discrimination. And not only that, he's saying it, and I'm telling you guys, this is all allegation from the Punisher, and I'm telling you from me, it's all allegedly. Don't mix me. So let's unpack, please and thanks. So the Punisher, okay? So guys, the Punisher has a lot to say. Listen.
We're supposed to sit on there and kind of I'm supposed to put oil on myself. She's supposed to do the same. And then at some point, we'll rub it on each other. And we doing little, like, masturbating. I'm masturbating. She's masturbating. But you could tell it was an act.
Right.
Like we're, like, in character. Like one of them corny Cinemax movies. You know what I'm saying? Like the sex scene in them little Cinemax movies. So we're trying to make it look like the part, you know? And then he would give subtle cues because he's across the room and the room's dark, everything's candle lit. And he'll say like, yo, move a little bit. Yo, move the candle. I can't really see or move the body. And he would never talk to me. Not one word to me, only to her. And if it's instructions for me, it goes to her and she tells me. So it was like a real scripted kind of routine, and it really went like that every single time.
So he was basically orchestrating a sex scene without directly talking to you, but telling her certain things.
Exactly.
Wow. Crazy. I seen also in the transcript, or I actually heard you talk about this, that Puff would have the Muslim mask on and be naked from the neck down. What was that like? Pause.
Bro, that was like the weirdest shit ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's already weird knowing like a dude coming in the room, you know? But, you know, I'm messing with the chick, and mind you, I'm seeing all this peripheral. Right. So it's extra crazy because it's not straight on. So it's at the corner of my eye. I'm like, yo, this dude got on like a veil, and he's half the time he's beating off and he's walking side to side. So it was definitely a difficult space to try to be in. But I ain't no front, bro. At the time, I'm greedy. I want this bread. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the scenario and I'm trying to make it work. But it was tough, man. It was tough.
It was just a veil. Somebody told me he had a Yankee fitted over the veil. Everything was just covering the face. Super duper pause and naked from the neck down every single time?
Every single time, man. So that's a little construed, right? It was a veil, just period. Like the ones the Muslim women wear, so you don't see anything but the eyes.
So what did I say? You hear what I said?
After like the year and change, and it was a while.
See, after a year and change, he's gonna find out how he gonna find out who he was. So that's the question I'm asking. So if this man never knew who they were, who was Puffy was for almost a year until the screen says, welcome, Mr. Holmes. Because remember, we get to understand the hotel that are booked is some of the Trump towers. That's why I don't understand how come Trump is not under some of these investigation, because most of his hotel was used in the R. Kelly situation allegedly and Diddy situation again allegedly. So I'm asking, so nobody never see all of these underage going in these hotels, all of these things. So there's big business out here making mad money off of these illegal activities, but it's only one person crumbling down in the crime. I don't understand all of that. And at the end of the day, people, he said almost a year he never knew who this man was until the thing on the screen says, welcome, Mr. Holmes, and da-da-dee and da-da-da. I'm trying to get to that part. Let's see if I could unpack that part and kiss my teeth and pass, okay?
Wore the veil for a minute.
Right.
Listen.
I think they might have figured out. I saw the TV.
See?
And at some point, he just changed to a Yankee fitted.
See?
So at some point he dropped the veil, and I guess he knew. Maybe he saw the TV on. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like I probably left it, and I guess he figured out. Homie figured it out.
See?
So he stopped wearing a veil, and he was just like rocker fitted.
Right. I also seen that you say when you and her were doing what you guys were doing, he would be pacing back and forth with a bottle of Astroglide.
Listen.
Yeah, man. Every time, you know, it was obviously something he was into in terms of visually watching this. So
what was being done with the Astroglide, though? Paul.
I guess he's using it as lubricant to beat off. You know what I'm saying? That was, you know, he's pleasuring himself during the action. So I'm obviously he's using that for lube.
Do you consider Puff a cuckold?
Yeah, I mean, the whole time, that's what I thought it was.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was.
It's because you keep using the word voyeur. This is cuckold activity.
Gay
Yeah, no,
activity, in
without a
other
doubt.
words.
Yeah, we're gonna step it up the
Allegedly.
cuckold.
No
Yeah,
discrimination.
So I'm saying voyeur because that's what she said to me.
Right.
Like when I came
Because
back.
you know why? Because they down. You know why? Because voyeur don't seem as bad as cuckold.
See?
So they downplay it with the y'all.
See, they just give it some pretty
you was
name.
an official cuckold, nigga. Because voyeur, can mean you watching anybody, not your girl.
Right.
Cuckold is when your girl is in play. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that
Keep on going.
Sound cuckoldish, man.
Gross.
Did Puff ever participate?
Listen.
Nah, man. Nah, he stayed across the room. Like I said in my testimony, the closest he got to actual action, like it was one time.
You're there.
All this stuff, almost every session happened in the living room, but it was one specific one where we got moved to the bedroom, me and her. Mm-hmm. So in the bedroom, he's in a closer proximity because he's walking around the bed. And at some point, like almost at like the strip club, he took like a stack of hundreds and just threw it on the bed while we was when me and her was having sex. And we both was like, what's going on? And he just was like, nah, I'm enjoying this shit. And, we just kept doing what we was doing.
All right. So the nigga basically...
So if you go and watch this whole content, guys, you hear that this man say he's he's impaired with his ears. I'll come back another day with that part because this I didn't screen time the timestamp to go exactly that part. So I'll do that tomorrow when I come with the content. But I just want you guys to hear that, like I said, he never knew all this time the man for almost a year until he saw Welcome Mr. Combs, and then he started to unveil himself, and that's how he knew he was Puffy. So to the rest of the victims, other than the assistants and the one that he deal with day to day, that know his face, that know that's Puffy, did the rest of the victims see him and knew who he was? That is my question. And if I was on the jury, that's the question I want to ask. You understand what I'm saying? Because you just can't charge these people with racketeer and all of these things when people say they never saw him. This man said he never saw him for a year because he was hiding, because he didn't want people to know he was into this nastiness, that instead of you do it with your girl, you watch a man do it with your girl and then you jerk off like a loser. Okay, guys? I'm just saying. Anyways, moving on, wrapping on, running on. Okay, guys? I have so much things to unpack, so I can't stay at one thing too much, guys, because I need to run out with the content, okay? And I gotta go myself, all right? Anyhow, let's unpack the rest of the content, okay? Now, from there, guys, we move on from here. We're done with the Puffy situation. I'll come back tomorrow to fill you guys in with the next, and I will have the timestamp as that. Also, this guy came out and spoke again as well in the Puffy situation, and he said he never really see that much. We'll come and put him in and insert him tomorrow as well. But I'm just giving you guys a highlight of the take of what's going to happen. Can't stop to really give you guys a part of it right now. Too much on Puffy, so I'll give you guys this tomorrow of his part as well. Moving on quickly and fast, okay, guys? Because time is the essence, and it's almost an hour already in the content. I'm not done talk yet, okay, guys? Moving on, running on. Now, all right, let's unpack some other things, guys. All right? Okay, so from there, guys, let's talk about Nygaard. All right, so Nygaard, let's talk about this guy Nygaard. Okay, now Nygaard people was charged back in the days and with some disturbing stuff in regards of sexual assault and all of those kind of things, right? We get to understand. Remember I told you that the judge came and talked about some other things in regards of this case and said basically he was preference treatment and everything. Remember, he ended up going somewhere else to get charged as well because this man was a big mogul who ended up even sleeping with the model Beverly. You know, the young face of Versace. That's why I don't really dangle allegedly with Versace, because when this situation did happen, she was the first black woman, basically almost the face of Versace way before we didn't know about Versace, and people kind of downplay this Nygaard situation. So I don't know if you guys heard about the disturbing footage when Nygaard was basically asking black women for their eggs. This man is disturbing and troubling, you know, people. Let's unpack this man. That this man is sinister more than Diddy. Been doing this kind of things, but it's just downplay. Like people don't know that this man was a notorious man of all that sort. So let's unpack this one quick and fast on this guy. All right, quickly. All right, because I gotta run, guys. Really gotta go. Commercial. It's too much commercial and I hate it. Okay? 1 second, I'm going to mute you guys, eh?
Stem cell technology that Peter and I are investing in.
Listen.
It's called SCNT, which takes the egg of a young, perfect woman specimen, takes the egg and takes out the nucleus and puts our DNA in the nucleus. They just go in and take it out. It's right? Huh? Yeah.
Listen.
This is part of this genetic greatness that we don't see in any other race on the planet.
You're there.
These curvy, sexy.
Let me back it up, people. I want you guys to listen.
Stem cell technology that Peter and I are investing in is called SCNT, which takes the egg of a young, perfect woman specimen, takes the egg and takes out the nucleus and puts our DNA in the nucleus.
You're there.
You just go ahead and take it out. Right? Huh? Yeah. And this is part
That's
of
not guard right there.
Greatness that we don't see in any other race on the planet. These curvy, sexy black women.
You're there.
Peter Nygaard, once a Canadian fashion mogul, built his empire in the women's clothing industry over decades, rising to international prominence as the founder of Nygaard International. However, his legacy has been overshadowed by a series of sexual misconduct allegations spanning multiple decades, resulting in criminal charges in both Canada and the United States.
Listen.
You girls have a kind of a
monopoly
on this genetic perfection.
So he's trying to discussing buying black woman egg in the past. Okay? Was that legal at the time? Was those things legal at the time? Because he can't find nothing like that in no other race. Are you kidding me? Go look up that story, guys. I'm only giving you guys bits and pieces, because I gotta run with the content, okay? Do your research, people. There's people out here that are sinister out here and getting away with all of those things. Now, from there, guys, he ended up violating this lady. She ended up having a baby and thought the baby was for her husband when it was really for the rapist, Nygaard. Because Nygaard, they claim, and she claimed, raped her, this lady who was the face of Versace, if you didn't know, the black model. Okay, guys? So we want to unpack this quick and fast, because I want to wrap up this content quick and fast. Okay, guys? Let's unpack this. Okay? So she came out and told her story. I'm sure you guys heard the story before.
Today in a daytime exclusive, Beverly Peel is speaking out about the violation she says she endured at the hands of Peter Nygaard. She joins us now from her home in Georgia. Beverly, thank you so much for joining us. It's a lot to talk about here, but I want to start where your story really, as this international supermodel, began. You were the face of Versace at age 12.
I told you.
Your own phenomenally successful career and beloved throughout the industry. How did you meet Peter?
12 years old, a black girl, the face of Versace. Who did ever know that? When you guys come over here, you guys always learn a lot of things. Who did know that, guys? Did you guys know that? Let's unpack. Let's continue, okay?
I met Peter.
Let's back it up again. I want you guys to hear it for yourself, okay? Let's continue.
Your story, really, as this international supermodel began. You were the face of Versace at age 12. You had your own phenomenally successful career and beloved throughout the industry. How did you meet Peter Nygaard?
I met Peter Nygaard on my return. My girlfriend had come to pick me up at the airport in Los Angeles, and she wanted to introduce me to a millionaire who's a fashion designer. And his house on the beach was on our way back to my house, so it wasn't anything that was out of the way. So she said, she talked me into stopping by at this party, and it's like, okay, whatever, I'll give it a go. And went there, walked into this beautiful, amazing 70s style house on the beach. And this man who looked like Siegfried and Roy on the television. And Robin Leach was interviewing him or something about the lifestyles of the rich and famous. And And then I hear this man with an accent come behind me and say in my ear, now pay attention because I'm going to quiz you after. And, or this is your future husband. And he said some other kind of jokes, you know, and I turn around and it's Mr. Peter Nygaard.
I remember he's interested in black woman in the video I showed you earlier.
Like just hello with Peter. And then later on that evening, we talked and, you know.
Sorry, I need to interject and take advantage of many of those young girls who were trying to get in modeling back then. Allegedly, don't mix me because she's one of the victims. Listen for yourself.
A whole bunch of people around, my girlfriend included, and we discussed possibly, you know, signing me to a contract deal. And a couple days later, I went back and he had the contract signed, all made up and written up, and I signed it.
I remember she was the first of Versace.
That was the beginning of the end.
You said that the ink was still wet on the paper when Peter Nygaard violated you. And you talk about that in the documentary. This is not something that you've talked about publicly. I know that people around you were aware, but not something you chose to share with the public.
Just a few people around me. I mean, some of my closest friends didn't really know the depth of it. They knew something strange was going on, or, you know, I had ill feelings towards him and stuff like that. And, but yeah, I haven't, this is my first venture out and sharing it. And with the hopes that my story will help other people come forward and, you know, be strong and know that they have a safe haven, a place to go to, and there's people that you can talk to. And, you know, I want to make sure that, and my son is really the reason why
that's her son. That's the man. That's the rapist son. That's Nygaard's son, guys.
Told me that it's okay, you know, Mom, that people will definitely take to your story, and they're not. Don't be ashamed of it. It's fine, and I'm not ashamed, and all that stuff. So he gave me the strength to do it, and also so I can help other women know that it happens, unfortunately, to a lot of people.
You mentioned your son, Beverly. For those who've not seen the documentary, you reveal that what happened to you, what you describe as a violation or an incident, resulted in you becoming pregnant. At the time of your pregnancy, you thought it was your husband. And then you gave birth to a child that was Peter Nygaard.
The rapist.
Yeah, that was
after he raped her, guys.
I hadn't shared my feelings. I had already talked to my son about the incident and how it you know, everything that went down. My son and I are very close, and I told him, you know, that it was hard for me to take you into my arms and things like that. Everything that I say, my son already knows, so it's not anything that he's hearing for the first time.
So I cannot drag this out any longer, guys, at all. Okay? So basically, Nygaard raped her, we'll say allegedly, okay? And he fathered a son with her, and she thought it was her husband. And when they did the DNA test, it's for the rapist Nygaard, that man that I just showed you, okay? You understand? So when they're talking about Diddy, the members say this model, she was the face of Versace from she was 12 years old. Versace that you wear now. And allegedly, when things were going down with her and Nygaard, Versace pretended that they didn't know about this man, the big Canadian fashion mogul that raped many women and end up in court for many women. And I will shout out allegedly. Go look up the backstory of Peter Nygaard. Okay? So the reason why God gave you the backstory is because I spoke about it the other day. The judge was looking into some stuff that he got favoritism and preference because he's a rich man and stuff like that. So I really had to unpack it. Remember, his son that reported him the abuse. The son said when he was young, he brought strippers for the strippers to sleep with his son and basically rape off his son. So his son even also testify against him in court. That's how serious this case was. Okay, guys? So let's run on. Let's continue. Let's unpack. All right? So from there, guys, we're going to run on with the content, guys. And we're going to run on with the content, and we want to talk about some other things. And then we're going to go. Okay, guys? So give me a second. Now, we also want to talk about this. Let's go to health for a second. You know, cancer is out here running wild. And a granddad with advanced lung cancer, which often leaves patient dead with 4 months, has become free of the disease after being treated with a new immunotherapy drug. So if you have good insurance and you think they will take on this, maybe this drug will help you when it comes to that cancer. Cancer, health is wealth, and cancer is out here beating and killing people. So I had to come out here and shout and let you guys know that this man is free of cancer, a cancer that kills you within 4 months because of immunotherapy drugs that he's taking. Look it up if you cared, okay? Running on, all right, people? Running on. From there, guys, we're gonna basically end up some other places right here. Okay, a Saskatoon man reporting missing from a Mexico beach has been found dead. So if you guys didn't hear about the story was a story that people are talking about. Seems like every time people end up in Mexico, they end up dead, allegedly. So this is another case, so I had to shout it out loud, okay? Moving on, quick and fast, running on with the content, guys, because I gotta go, and I know you gotta go quite so, all right? From there, guys, like I said, I talk about Ding Dong, because we're going into the dancehall now, so let's wrap it up on all the way to dancehall. So Ding Dong came out and talked about that song the other day that I said, Glory. He has a lot more to talk about Glory with the collab with Vanessa Bling and all of that with that Glory. From there, he said all of this. For some one reason, people hear my vocals as more vibrant sound that is more gravitated to more party, feel good vibes of dancehall. So sometimes it kind of forced me just to do a song that are happy and just vibrant. But because I'm doing an album, I wanted you guys to really listen to the other side of Ding Dong that was already there. I just didn't get the chance to really display it all. This magnitude and the album was a perfect place to let people hear this side of me. He shared. He said the Glory is a lyrical prayer which is aimed at connecting people. I've been through this, but it's more universal topic where I'm sure that people can relate to at least one line or one verse or probably the whole song, and just to be connected with God, showing that God can lead you through anything and encourage you to be faithful and to have faith in God, because God never give his realest and strongest soldier what they cannot bear. He said he uttered with this song, Bing Bong. Glory. Okay, guys, from there we're gonna unpack some other things. Now you guys know that the promoter for the Vice Cartel situation came out and have a lot to say. Rather, as you guys know, that they claim that the police is investigating some situations in regards of some kind of payment situation in regards of the Vice Cartel saga and stuff like that. Okay, guys? So the promoter came out and he has a few things to say in regards of actually Vice Cartel situation. So let's get to that quick and fast, okay? Because time is the essence. All right, guys? So the promoter has a lot to say, okay, guys? So let's unpack that quick and fast, okay? 1 second. Commercial. Give me a second. One second.
Everybody send them thing that to my phone get black. I do. Why you cut it? Going to future events, so we're hoping that.
One second, guys.
And people on social media have been reaching out for a comment from me as the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Promoters Association on the whole Vibes Cartel. They were excited for the show. He was the headliner. So people going there, they definitely would have been disappointed. If they are issuing refunds or partial refunds, it's going to be difficult for those of you who would have bought physical tickets to get the refund.
Okay. So the promoter has that to say in regards of refund and all of that. All right. After that, guys. After that, we get to understand that Cargo has a rhythm, that D'Angel is on the rhythm as well. And there's some kind of muss and fuss over the rhythm in regards of Cargo and a gentleman, okay? In regards of this situation here. Okay, guys? So Cargo end up has a lot to say in regards of this, and we want to drop this, and this will be our last topic, last content for the hour. Okay, guys? Because I gotta run, and I'm sure you guys gotta go to run as well. And you know, I was late this morning and stuff like that, and I gotta run as well, you know, stuff like that. So let's unpack this quick and fast if you play for me, and if it doesn't, then I'm just gonna jump off of this live like hopscotch. Well, commercial, give me a second, I'm gonna mute you guys. So Cargo, so I showed you guys that without the voice because I don't want a copyright strike. Remember, we're taking it off from somewhere, so we don't want a copyright strike. So you guys see me showing you that. I'm sure you guys saw that part, but listen to what Cargo had to say. Okay, guys, quick and fast. All right, give me a second.
Name on it, and I'm feeling beat.
Okay.
You there? The man screenshot the thing them and I tell me don't release no more of the song them like a film. Nothing but that boy a bad man, said. That boy a bad.
So Cargo has a lot to say, okay, guys? Cargo, all right?
And the man when met the beat and met this guy know say, yo, it is different from yours. And even if you feel like yours, Cargo I give you a percentage. You inspire us to make it for you, but you get your virgin, and your virgin in a reverse. Your virgin play like a gospel. Your virgin not in your face. We tweak it back and do it over back, remix it back, and we give Cargo a virgin through flower gun. That is a virgin Cargo I use, and the man now I hear that.
All right, okay. So all of that. So that's what's happening right now, guys. So we're not going to drag out the whole of the content. I believe I'm going to wrap up this content, so to speak, and all of that. I will bring you guys the rest of the content, whatever I want to speak about, another time. and all of that at this point in time. But forever since, guys, recapping, we were talking about this murder trial, man of accused of suitcase murder collapse in Bristol. Okay, guys, all of that right there in Bristol, UK. And right now the case collapse, there's going to be a retrial in the case as well. We talk about all kind of things that we could unpack. We talk about Nygaard, okay? We talk about so many things. We're going to come back with this topic tomorrow when it comes to Diddy. We talk about Ding Dong and his new song. Okay, guys? We talk about so much things. We talk about also a new cancer drug. We talk about so many things that we could have unpacked, guys. So many things that we could have talked about today, and all of that. It's Wednesday. Thank you for stopping by, guys. I really appreciate you. I know I was late this morning, but it better late than don't coming. Or better late than sorry. Hi, Sarah. Good day. How are you, sis? I'm not paying attention to the comment section because once I put up the screen, I don't really see it. But hi, sis. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate you. Big up your nice, clean self if you're still in the audience. Okay, guys? So running on. Thank you for stopping by, guys. Greatly appreciate it and all of that. Let's wrap up Wednesday with a great day and all of that. So let's shout out from here for those who are having a happy anniversary, guys. Okay? Stay blessed, stay clean, and continue to love each other deeply and truly. Okay, guys? All right. For those who's having a happy birthday, have a happy birthday and a great one, and be mindful, okay? Because you want to see another day. I want to say a big thank you for those who always come and watch the content. I appreciate you, okay? Respect for those who always come and watch the content no matter what. All right, guys? Okay, all right. And I really appreciate you guys. And a big up for you to always be here and give me your full attention. I really appreciate you guys and all of that. I just want to say, let's leave this with you guys right here. Powerful words of the day. For the day, believe in yourself. Believe you can and you will. Stay strong. Dream, believe, achieve. Never give up. Little progress each day adds up to big results. Be grateful. A grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. Work hard. Good things come to those who hustle. Stay humble. Work hard in silence. Let success makes the noise. Be kind. Kindness makes you the most beautiful. Keep smiling. Keep shining. All it hands on me. For sure. You guys know I can't sing. So big up on a nice clean self. Aya. Right there on a Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Right there. Okay, guys? And for there, guys, moving on. Guys. Thank you for stopping by, like I said. And for those in my life, guys, who make me smile and all of that, I really appreciate you. My peace and love sign not coming up. I don't know why. But nevertheless, guys, thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you guys next time with a good content. Bye.